Yep. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Beatmaster Show. Damn it. That's what I'm gonna call this show right here. I got a reaction video YouTube. Fair use is in full effect. I'm gonna talk about this scumbag, Bryan Kohberger. Brian Burger King. He got the initials as Burger King, BK. Bryan Kohberger, Burger King, Burger. Reaction audio too. Basically, it's gonna be more audio than video. Let's get to it, y'all.
Idaho, we're getting our first look at the man arrested for the murders of 4 University of Idaho college students. Pennsylvania State Police.
Let's look at him, y'all. Let's look at his ass. Look at his dumb ass. I just don't like his face, y'all. I want to smack him. Get on my nerves, Brian. I want to smack you, boy. I want to smack you. Let's go.
And the FBI arrested 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger today in Chestnut Hill Township in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Authorities tracked him there, and this morning a SWAT team took him.
That's an hour away from me, Brian. You wasn't that far away from me, Brian. Here we go again. I'm back again, y'all. Let's get to it. We back on Brian. Let's go. My bad.
Into custody. He'll now be extradited to Idaho to face first-degree murder charges. The 4 college students were found murdered last month in a home they shared.
Rewind.
Time out of Moscow, Idaho. We're getting our first look at the man arrested for the murders of 4 University of Idaho college students. Pennsylvania State Police and the FBI arrested 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger today in Chestnut Hill Township in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Authorities tracked him there, and this morning,
like I was saying, that's an hour away from me.
He'll now be extradited to Idaho to face first-degree murder charges. The 4 college students were found murdered last month in a home they shared. Moscow police will hold a press conference at 1 o'clock, and ABC News will bring that to you live when it happens. And the arrest comes just as new video from a police body cam came to light. It shows officers responding to a noise complaint at the house on September 2nd, Labor Day weekend. Officers interacted with Zana Kernodle, one of the victims, who would be found dead in the house just weeks later.
Man, I don't know what's going on with this damn thing. They don't want me to, I don't know, man. I'm back again. Making my video messed up. Let's listen and see what the police got to say, y'all. Let's go.
Gonsalves, Maddie Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were found murdered in a home near the University of Idaho campus. An arrest is made. I'm Anjanette Levy, and welcome to Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. We have a special breaking news edition
Shout out to
of the
them.
podcast for you today. The man who is under arrest is Bryan Kohberger. He is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and felony burglary for entering the King Road home back in the early morning hours of November 13th and murdering Haley Gonsalves, Maddie Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Kohberger is a 28-year-old PhD student at Washington State University in Pullman, Washington. And that's really just a short distance away from Moscow, Idaho, where the murders occurred. It's about a 10-mile drive, 15 minutes to get there. He was getting...
I just don't understand why people do shit like this. I don't. And how did he get like 4 people? They couldn't protect themselves, or they was in their sleep. They were sleeping. Kohberger, you're a scumbag, fam. You're gonna get what you deserve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Let's go.
His PhD in criminal justice and criminology. Kohberger was arrested earlier Friday morning at his home in Pennsylvania and booked into the Monroe County Jail. He is being held without bail. And joining me to discuss this development is retired Houston homicide detective extraordinaire Phil Waters and retired FBI agent Bobby Chacon. Phil and Bobby, welcome to
Shout out to Phil and Bobby, y'all.
Coming on. Phil, I'll start with you.
We're gonna start with Phil.
Well, I'd have to tell you, first of all, kudos to the Moscow Police Department, those detectives, the chief, the state police, and the FBI guys, and all the people that helped process that evidence that's brought us to this day. This is the day we've all been looking forward to.
We sure have been.
So I would say first kudos to those folks.
Bobby, I'm thinking, the FBI arrest, there was some reporting out there that they've been tracking this guy for several days. Briefly, your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it was great police work, lightning fast for a homicide, quadruple homicide investigation.
Quadruple homicide.
People on the internet were chiding the police for moving slow. They did move slow. This was an amazingly
at the
fast
same time
investigation, and they
with
got
a knife,
the man, as I kind of thought they would. And I think that my reading is that they've been tracking him for a couple of days. Probably likely trying to get a DNA sample, like we saw in the Golden State Killer case where they followed D'Angelo around for a few days to try to get some item that he touched or he drank from his trash or from something else and match the DNA profile that they had, when they did that extensive crime scene in that house. That took time to get all those blood samples separated and then develop a DNA profile. And now that I think they have it, because, part of this is a DNA genetic match too.
It's a lot of work for them crime scene people to do. DNA could be so small, they got to find it. Blood, y'all don't know which blood goes where. Whose blood is whose. So they got to separate the blood samples, like they said, to get a identification, a direct match to the victims. Let's go.
Some of the material in the house. So now if you have him in that house, you have his DNA in or around the victims. I think, they've got them in.
Search warrants are being executed at both the apartment where Kohberger lived in Pullman, Washington, and at the home where he was arrested in Pennsylvania. So the white Hyundai Elantra was a clue. It was something that really seemed to break this investigation wide open. The police chief today was asked whether or not A, they had found the white Elantra, and B, the murder weapon. Briefly, this is what he had to say.
So we are still looking for all pieces of evidence, but we are still looking for the weapon. And I will say that we have found an Elantra.
It's the police officer.
Bobby, you know, I asked Moscow PD point blank yesterday on Thursday, did you find the white Elantra? And I got the same canned response that they were making progress. But we know that the arrest paperwork was filed under seal in Lake County on Thursday. So did you think that the white Hyundai Elantra here was key? And what is the possibility of recovering the murder weapon?
Well, first, I think the Elantra was key, and you kind of got that feeling when they were really saying
The Elantra was key, yo.
vital information. You know, they really wanted this car. It wasn't just a couple of different vehicles. It was one very specific vehicle. They saw it on video. There weren't many other cars in the area moving around that night. So I think they really, really knew that that was a crucial piece. And I think they probably have the Elantra. He probably drove it back to Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I think that long drive from Idaho to Pennsylvania, he had ample opportunity to ditch that murder weapon, which is probably a large knife,
Facts.
in any number of places.
Any number.
That's thousands of miles of roadway. There's probably lots of bodies of water. I ran the FBI dive team for a number of years. You know, a lot of people like to ditch things over bridges in water. It could be anywhere, unless he gives them some kind of indication of where he deposited.
He's not going to tell them.
Or unless he made a really amateur mistake in putting it somewhere where they'll find it, it's going to be difficult. But that's not crucial. I don't think they need particular.
They really don't need that. They kind of do need the murder weapon. They got to place him at the scene of the crime. How did they even figure out that he did it? We didn't hear that yet. He got to be placed at the scene of the crime. They got to get the murder weapon. I just can't blame somebody if there's no evidence, fam.
The murder weapon in this case to get a conviction.
They say they don't need the murder weapon to convict his ass. They don't need it. Shit, they don't need the murder weapon to convict him. They're going to convict his ass anyway.
People found where Brian Kohberger, when he was getting his master's, was soliciting people on Reddit, criminals and things, to talk about their thoughts and feelings, things like that. It appears this is a legitimate post, and his Reddit account has now been suspended. Your thoughts on somebody who is a criminology and criminal justice PhD and this creepy survey on Reddit being accused of these crimes?
Well, this is not going to be part of a huge, big psychological puzzle for this guy. I know when I was investigating homicide that we would do a psychological profile or a psychological autopsy on the person, the first suspect. And this is all going to be part of a huge puzzle for this character. I think it's interesting that he's got this background in criminal justice and so on. So you wonder if maybe the answers will come out is that a lot of this was just a progression of events that he wanted to see if he could get away with a crime like this. And he became fascinated with the workings and the mechanics of this type of an event. It's kind of a strange, and looking at the guy's picture, looking into his eyes, I mean, I've looked into the eyes of evil before, and I've got to say that just the picture appears to me that he's kind of above it all at this point. He's not remorseful in any way. He's a little bit arrogant, as a matter of fact, and he's kind of waiting to see that now, okay, the story is out. Let's see what these police officers do. And to what Bobby was talking about, you know, they're doing the due diligence. They're executing search warrants at his apartment in Pullman. And I'm assuming they're going to execute a search warrant at the parents' house in Pennsylvania on the vehicle itself, and they'll be executing search warrants on the cell phone if they got one. I agree with Bobby. I don't know that it's important necessarily in the string of evidence to get the murder weapon. It would be nice icing on the cake.
Yeah, well,
but he may be one of these guys that they may have kept it as a trophy. So we'll just have to see how that plays out.
He got rid of that thing.
When police announced the arrest at a press conference on Friday afternoon, they were notoriously tight-lipped. I felt like they almost wanted to tell us, but they say that they can't. And they've played everything close to the vest the entire time. They've been very tight-lipped, which led to a lot of complaints. Let's listen to Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson talk about the next steps in this case and why he says they can't tell us anything right now.
There's a pending case now in court, and I and my office and the investigators have to live with the
Fair use
restrictions that our
YouTube.
Supreme Court places on pretrial publicity.
Reaction
That
audio.
said, I promise you we will share with you through the court process or otherwise whatever we are
We're talking
allowed
about
to.
the scumbag
Appreciate your patience on that.
Brian Burger King. Killed them 4 innocent kids, man. These are dumb. I want to cuss so bad, but I ain't gonna cuss. You gonna get your match. You gonna meet your match in prison, buddy. Somebody gonna get you in prison, Brian. Most definitely. Let's go.
The factual basis for the charges are summarized in what's called a probable cause affidavit that is on file with the court. According to the rules of the Idaho Supreme Court, that is sealed until Mr. Kohlberger is physically back in Latah County and has been served with the Idaho arrest warrant. At that time, we expect that that affidavit will be available.
I just don't understand the extraditing, the extradition part. Okay. This person killed 4 people in Idaho. He got caught in Pennsylvania. They say it's going to take a long time before they could transport him from Pennsylvania to Idaho to face the charges that what he did out there. I just don't understand that part. Idaho could just drive down here because I'm in Pennsylvania. He got caught about an hour away from me. Drive down here and pick his ass up and drive him back, just like he drove his ass from where he killed those 4 people to his mom and dad's crib. Brought that drama to his mom and dad, man. You go kill 4 people and then go to your mom and dad's and try to hide at your mom and dad's crib. And all them FBI agents and SWAT team kicked your mom and dad's door and got your ass. You're lucky they ain't going there shooting. But they knew you was in there with your mom and dad. They wasn't trying to do nothing to your mom and dad. They wanted your ass and they got you. Let's go.
Available to you so you can share the true facts with all of your readers and your watchers and your listeners and all the people who are interested and really need to know what's going on.
Bobby, the prosecutor, Bill Thompson, said we can't release the complaint in the affidavit until this guy is back in Idaho, until Brian Kohlberger has been extradited and he's served with the paperwork. So it's been very frustrating for everybody to not have that information, but it seems like to me that they're dotting all the I's and crossing all of the T's.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're right that they want to tell us what they want because they've worked really hard in this case and they've done a really great job.
Pause. See what I mean? Brian Kohlberger killed 4 people, right? Ran his little punk ass to his mom and dad's crib. Was trying to hide at his mom and dad's crib, thinking they could protect him. But no, he got caught. Now he's in prison right now, or he's in jail, being fed. He's getting 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He get to take a shower. He get to call his mom and dad on the phone, talk to them. Even though he's in protective custody, he still gets to do all that. He get clean linen, laundry, TV, maybe radio, while the 4 people that he murdered are gone. They don't even get to enjoy 2023. They didn't even get to enjoy Christmas. But they got killed in October, I think, November, somewhere around there. I don't think they even got to enjoy Thanksgiving. But you, Kohlberger, you're going to get a Thanksgiving dinner in prison. You're going to get a Christmas dinner in prison. All these years you get ready to do, you might get the death penalty. And if karma gets involved, you ain't even going to make it in jail. Let's go.
And they've been nothing but, chided on the internet by amateur sleuths who think they can do it better, and the police are making all these mistakes, which is ridiculous. And so I think they want to come out and show the fruits of their
Brian,
labor, their very,
bitch.
very intense labor over the past 6 weeks.
Stand
And I
people
think
like
that,
you.
and they'll have every right to be lauded and applauded.
That's why I do these
for the work
videos
that they've done, because like I said, this
of
is a
people like
death
you.
investigation in a quadruple homicide with a very complex crime scene. So I think they want to say it. They want it to come out. But as the prosecutor said, everybody's going to hold the reins. We will not get every answer when that affidavit is unsealed. It's a very minimal document. They just put enough in there to meet the probable cause threshold. So I think that there'll be still more questions, but that'll come out in the pretrial hearings and ultimately at the trial if he does go to trial.
And Phil, I'm wondering if that probable cause affidavit, Bobby is saying he thinks there's just enough in there to get over the probable cause hurdle. But
I think he had help. I think somebody helped him.
Pretty lengthy and laid out a lot of detail.
Commit that crime.
Well, Bobby.
I think that's my opinion. I think he didn't do it by himself. Because he asked, did anybody else get arrested? He asked the police officers. When he got arrested, he asked them, did anybody else get arrested? And why would he ask that? Let's go.
Moscow, Idaho on November 13th, stabbed to death in their beds in a crime that has horrified and mystified the nation. Law enforcement sources tell ABC News a 28-year-old man, Brian Kohlberger, is now under arrest in connection with the killings.
Bastard.
We're told authorities arrested Kohlberger thousands of miles from Idaho in Monroe County, Pennsylvania, and that a SWAT team entered the location where he was staying and took him into custody this morning.
Thousands of miles he traveled after the murder. He could have, like the man said, he could have put the murder weapon anywhere. He could have buried it underground anywhere. He could have stopped at some kind of scrap metal place and just threw it in a pile somewhere. Who knows where it's at, y'all? He knows what he did with it, damn it. And God knows what he did with it. Let's go.
This comes more than 6 weeks after investigators say University of Idaho roommates Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Zaina Coronado, as well as Coronado's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, were all stabbed to death in the girl's off-campus house. With me now for more is ABC's Kana Whitworth, live in Moscow, Idaho, and former chief of the San Bernardino Police Department and ABC News contributor Jared Bergman.
San Bernardino.
So, Kana, we're now learning there was this arrest warrant, obviously for murder in the first degree. So this is the guy that
death penalty.
He appeared before a judge today, ordered his extradition. What can you tell us?
So, Terry, what we know so far is that this arrest resulted from this criminal homicide investigation that was happening here in Moscow, Idaho. Now, Moscow PD remains the lead on this, and they, at this point, are not confirming this arrest. But our sources within the FBI are saying that Brian Kohlberger, again, 28 years old, he was highly educated, Terry. In fact, he had a master's degree in criminology from DeSales University there in Pennsylvania, but also attended Washington State University in Pullman, Washington, which is just less than 10 miles away here from Moscow, Idaho. So he will be extradited back here to Idaho.
I can't stand people like that, y'all.
Heinous crime that this city has ever seen. We're also told that the SWAT team knew what they were looking for and that he was.
Of course they did. They knew who did it when the first day happened, y'all. These people ain't stupid. You think wasn't no cameras around their crib? There's cameras everywhere. Doorbell cams, and all that. You can't get away with nothing nowadays. You think you got away with it. You didn't. Let's go.
Arrested inside a house there in rural Pennsylvania.
All right, a long way, as you point out.
What is mom and dad?
Dana, from Moscow, Idaho. Jared, we
You
now
little
have
punk
the
bitch. You gonna
suspect
run to
who's
your
got
mom
the
and dad's crib.
arrest warrant. What do you make of this? What happens?
You should have
next?
hid out in the woods somewhere and fought it out with the police.
Well, the judge has already ordered him to be extradited, so he's going to be on his way back to Idaho before long, and we will start to see the court proceedings begin from there, from a preliminary hearing to presumably a trial.
See that?
I will.
A trial. All this money they got to spend for this shit now. They got feeding, housing, giving transportation back and forth to court. Paperwork costs money. Everything costs money now from here on out. Their funerals, the kids' funerals that he killed, the funeral, that's money. Everything's cost money from here on out from his actions. I don't think it should be kill on sight. Well, let's put it this way. Once these people that do things like this, and they're for sure that they did it, and they got evidence that they did it, that's when they should go and just take them out right there that day. As soon as they find out that day they did it, take them out. Give them to the family members. Give his ass to the family members and let them take it. I know that everybody say, oh, that's not a godly thing to do. I know that. And you're supposed to forgive. But man, let some of these family members get some wreck, man. You did that to my daughter, and you did that to my son. Now I gotta go to court and look at your dumb ass while I'm sitting there in court. I gotta be feet away from you while I'm in the courtroom with your ass, and you killed my daughter or my son. It's not gonna work. Like Jeffrey Dahmer sitting there, y'all walked there and did y'all little talk things. Y'all got up on the mic and y'all would say, man, hell with that. And then Girlie went all crazy. Jeffrey, you didn't do nothing to him. He's right there. You didn't do a damn thing. You should have did something. You could have got him. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get your ass in that courtroom. I'm gonna go to jail or they're gonna shoot my ass, but I'm gonna get you. Let's go.
Point out, it's interesting that he's got this history in criminal justice with no prior criminal history that I'm sorry, not a criminal history in criminal justice, but a history.
I gotta go to court now. He's sitting in a cell right now. What time is it? Let's see what time it is. It's 6:51 where I'm at. He done ate dinner already. Dinner comes about 4 o'clock. He done ate already. I just don't agree with that shit. You murder people like that, you don't sit in my jail. You ain't coming to my jail because I'm gonna do something right there that day. Damn it, your ass getting got right there that day. Ain't no going back to the damn court. Let's go.
Studying criminal justice with no prior criminal history. It's going to be a fascinating aspect to this case.
Yeah, it seems like he has a person who has been interested in this field, and now, right in the middle of the biggest murder case in the country right now. Cannon, what's the latest on the crime scene?
Oh, time. How is that the biggest murder case in the country right now? And Wesley Brownlee killed 7 people. A black man killed 7 people out in California just the other month. He was shooting homeless people in the head. See, y'all hear this shit? This is the biggest murder case in the country because I'm not going to say it, YouTube, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Homeless people, college students, 4 of them, 4 students, 7 homeless people that Wesley Brownlee just did. He killed them back to back. They called him a serial killer. But this Brian dude, they didn't call him no serial killer. He's just a killer. He's just a murderer. And it's the biggest murder killing case right now in the country. What about Wesley Brownlee, damn it? like, okay, y'all put Jeffrey Dahmer above Sam Little. Jeffrey Dahmer only killed 17 people. Sam Little was a black man. He killed 93 people. Y'all ain't say nothing about him. Let's go. But y'all know what I'm talking about, YouTube. Y'all hear it. Let's go.
And how this arrest factors into the investigation on the ground there.
Yeah, well, first, Terry, I'll tell you, one of my
Biggest murder case in the country.
Sources told me, they weren't surprised that this suspect was highly educated. They, in fact, anticipated something like that. In addition to the crime scene,
I ain't being racial about it, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
A 6-bedroom house. It remains a crime scene, and in fact, biohazard teams were supposed to start their initial cleanup there today. They actually went to the house and then were told to leave. The property management company, who's been working closely with law enforcement to schedule this, told us that they were alerted that there's been a major break in this case, and so the cleanup of that crime scene will be.
Why was they gonna clean it up anyway? They didn't even know who did it yet. Y'all was gonna go ahead and clean up all the damn evidence. He would have never got caught if they'd have cleaned that crib up. Well, let me rewind. He got caught before this. My bad. Let's go.
Be postponed. They'll just have to wait for now, Terry.
Yeah, they got to postpone it because he got caught.
Jared, there
so they got to go in there and make sure his evidence,
shows apparently one
his
of the
DNA is in the house.
Case. Talking to police weeks before the murders, and do you know what this might suggest about the direction of this investigation? You know, what police knew? She seems to, we don't know the circumstances of this as far as I know. It's from Truth and Transparency. What do you make of something like this?
Well, I'm sure the fact that the house was popular, these were popular college kids, it's a large house. It
she said like she had a stalker. He probably followed her.
People gathered, a lot of people were in and out of.
The stalker was his ass.
The investigation, because it added to the number of people that needed to be interviewed.
Let's turn it down.
It added to the number of potential suspects.
Too loud.
It added to the number of potential motives that authorities had to look at. I'm not familiar with what the content of that body cam video was or why an officer was there in the first place, but undoubtedly there were probably just stacks and stacks of evidence that the authorities had to go through to ultimately settle on a suspect in this case.
Right. And Kana, that nugget that
fair use YouTube
you spoke to, we're not surprised.
This video is protected by fair use. This channel is protected by fair use. Damn it.
But we're going to hear from authorities at a news conference at 4 p.m. Eastern time. ABC News Live. ABC News is going to carry that live when it happens. So tell us what else you think we might learn there. What are you expecting to hear? What kind of questions might you have?
I just don't like these people that go out here and take these people's lives. They were young kids, man. In their sleep, they say he did it. You're definitely a bitch, Bryan Kohberger. And by the powers may be, you're going to meet your match in jail and they're going to knock your head off. He's going to commit suicide in there, y'all. Watch. They're going to say he committed suicide. He's not going to make it in this jail. He shouldn't, man. He should not make it, y'all. Let's go.
Right. So as it goes with this case, Terry, every time we learn something, it really only creates more questions, right? So now the questions we have are, what's the deal with this white Elantra?
Pause. And let me rewind a little bit. I bet y'all didn't hear about that Wesley Brownlee guy in California that shot those 7 homeless people. He was just going around doing it. And he said he wasn't going to stop if they would have caught him. He was just going to keep on doing it. It didn't get no attention on the news like this thing right here is. It should though. Y'all go back. I did a video on it. Go check a couple videos back. Wesley Brownlee. Check him out.
Authorities were looking for, was Bryan Kohberger driving that white Elantra? There were also other people believed to be inside that car.
See?
Where are they? What's going on?
Other people.
Also, police.
They said there's other people in the car with him. What's up with that? he did ask the police officers, did anybody else get arrested? He didn't do the murders by himself, y'all. That's my opinion. Let's go.
Ed,
Fair
from the
use,
get-go, this
YouTube.
was an isolated and targeted attack. I hope that we can learn why they thought that at the beginning and continue to believe that throughout the investigation. Again, authorities have been tight-lipped this entire time. They said they were responding to thousands of tips across this entire country, which you are seeing today as an arrest made thousands of miles away. So clearly everybody has been highly involved in this. They're not leaving one stone unturned. And so I hope that they give all of that information. One thing I also want to add, Terry, is when you see all this body cam footage from these responding officers in this community from months past, I thought what it really goes to show is how involved these officers are in this community.
That's a little
And
girl,
we were
man.
told time and time again that these officers know these kids, and you see that play out, right, in that body cam video. In fact, what you were just talking about, officers were responding to a noise complaint. It was the second time they'd been at this King Street party house that night. And
A noise complaint. He was going to do it that night right there when the police pulled up. They called the cops because they heard a noise outside their crib. Brian Kohlberger was getting ready to kill them people that day. But he was a little bit sloppy and made a noise. And they were awake. This is my opinion, YouTube. I'm allowed to have one. And they was awake. So he jetted off. They called the police. He laid in the cut and seen the police come to the crib. So he fell back. He said, this time I'm going to wait until they go to sleep. So he knew their schedule. He knew everything they did. The girl told the dad she had somebody following her, a stalker coming following her. That was his ass. Brian's dumb ass was following her and shit. Weirdo. So he waited when they went to sleep. That's to see what happened. The dad, when the daughter told the dad, I think somebody's following me, Dad. I think I got a stalker, Dad. I keep on seeing this person following me. The dad should have stepped in right now and pulled his daughter out. You coming back home. Time to come home. Yeah, I'm getting my daughter up out of there. It's time for you to come home. Let's go.
you see them talking with Xana, you see that these officers know these kids. They knew who they were. And so this crime, therefore, rocked not only the community, but the department as well.
Seems like it rocked the whole country.
It is a small community with that.
I'm doing a video on it. I don't even know these people.
Thank you for that, Ken. And I want to ask Jared about this.
I'm just pissed off.
You know, this has been 6 weeks now since the killings. Have you been involved in case?
This shit pisses me off, y'all. I killed 35 people. I killed 95 people. That shit pisses me off. The serial killing shit, that shit pisses me the fuck off, y'all. Excuse my language, YouTube. I told you I'm subject to cuss. I'm grown. That pisses me off, damn it. Let's go.
This is, you know, that really hit the community hard, and it looked like it was going to go nowhere. What have the investigators been going through to reach this point today?
Well, you know, the reality is that in busy police departments, after 6 weeks, it almost becomes a cold case. You know, because in a busy department, you've got
they got lucky.
That happens on Monday, and by the end of the week, you may have another, and you have cases that start to stack
I
up.
still don't know how they got him.
Pushed back.
How they figured out it was him. They didn't say how they figured it out.
It's a slower community from a policing standpoint, and they had so much attention and so many resources dedicated to this. Speaks to the fact that they were able to just continue to put so many resources on this. We've all been a part of things in our community that have not been resolved, and we know
while them kids were in college,
frustrating.
Idaho.
Hopefully, the fact that
they should have busted him in the head with a potato
will lead to a conviction in this case.
They should have busted him in the head with a couple of potatoes and cracked his head open
to help put the folks in that community at ease.
Absolutely, and Kana, that
there you go. You know how they used to stone people back in the days? Back in the days, they take you in the middle of the town and everybody get rocks and stone the shit out you. because you did some bullshit. They should potato his ass to death in Idaho. They should drag him out there in the cornfield and beat him with potato bags and shit. Let's go.
That is something this community has been going through, something unimaginable, because this man, if in fact this is the person who did this, was on the loose. That for weeks the police have been, searching and asking for help from the community. And social media is, there's critics a dime a dozen, cheaper than that on social media. Has there been concern, criticism from the community about the way this has been handled?
Shout out to the dirty section.
People are breathing a sigh of relief today. How do you think?
Shout out to the YouTube streets.
After all of the questions raised about the police and their investigation.
Shout out to me.
In this case.
Right. Well, I will say, Terry, within the community, this department has a tremendous amount of support. In fact, as we've been here now for weeks, we've
shout out to Idaho,
walking to the store behind me and dropping off coffee and food and telling the department, we support you. Thank you. We believe that you will bring justice. There was concern from families, right?
Shout out to the City of Moscow Police Department.
Murdered in a heinous way and you have no answers. There was concerns from families that perhaps the department wasn't moving fast enough, that perhaps they weren't providing enough answers. That was certainly out there. But a majority of this community really supported this department, and I think that they're feeling that and they're seeing that today. I also will say, Terry, that we spoke with Keely Gonzalez's father, Steve, after this news broke today.
Shout out to Steve.
And he's telling us, as we know, this is a targeted, isolated attack, but he's telling us right now this family has no idea who this man is, who this suspect is. So they're looking into him right now, but they also added that they are happy, relieved, thankful today.
Amen to that. That's great reporting, Kana, as always. And Jared, thank you very much for bringing your expertise and insight into this major story. I know we'll be talking again.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel.
That's that news clip. Let's see if we got another one, y'all. I think I got one more. Let's see what this one's about. Yeah, y'all could watch it. Y'all could watch it your damn self, but y'all watching it with me. Because the news people ain't gonna talk like me. They gonna be like, I want to smack the shit out of Brian's ass. I'll smack the shit out of Brian's ass too. I would smack him so hard, he would wake up hours later. I'll still be standing on top of his ass. When his eyes open up, I'll smack his ass again. I'll smack him. Fuck. Let's smack him again. Motherfucker. I told you.
He was arrested at his parents' home on Friday morning just before 2 a.m. Moscow police say they seized a 2015 white Elantra, but have offered few other details. Kohberger faces 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary, and will have to be extradited to Idaho to face charges for the murders of Kaylee Gonsalves, Maddie Mogen, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. Police executed a
they all got some hard names to say.
Department in
Shout out to
Washington
them.
Friday. Kohberger was a PhD student at Washington State University, studying criminal justice and criminology. Washington State University is about 10 miles from Moscow, Idaho, where those murders were committed on November 13th.
Y'all got to protect y'all's necks, man. Protect y'all
said
family out here,
had
man.
just completed his first semester in the program. Before
Some
WSU,
scumbag weirdos just come up in the
was a
crib and kill your
master's
family
student at
members like that.
DeSales University in Pennsylvania. And one of his professors was Dr. Catherine Ramsley.
Let's hit pause.
She teaches classes.
You got it. Your kids got to wing off. They got to wing off and become adults out here. But then there's scumbags out here that's going to murder your fucking kids. Excuse my language, YouTube, but this shit pisses me off. Told you I'm grown. YouTube. Kids can't even go to college to become adults. Got to go out there and worry about some scumbags stabbing them to death. I told y'all people there's 100 active serial killers in America right now. As we speak, somebody's being serial killed right now. That's what I call it, being serial killed. Somebody's being serial killed. Somebody's being mass murdered as we speak. stabbed up, choked up, all that. You got to protect your neck. You got to protect yourself. You got to protect your family, B. Facts. I mean, I know you can't be around your family all the time. Call them, make some phone calls. Check on them. Check on your peoples. Let's go.
In Serial Killers. She's a forensic psychologist, and she has actually appeared on some of Law and Crime's podcasts, including Sidebar and Cocktails.
Check
and
on your
Cocktails.
peoples from
This
time
is
to
what she
time.
told Sean Sticks Larkin about her work earlier this year.
I actually consult on death investigations. I do police trainings. I talk about profiling and
If you can get a gun, get a gun.
psychological
Get your gun
autopsy,
license,
which
get
is
yourself a
really
gun,
about
get yourself a
suicidology.
dog.
So I have a whole class just in that.
Not no
And I
bullshit
have a
dog.
class in
Nice dog.
dangerous
Pit,
minds that
Rottweiler,
I teach
German Shepherd,
the
something like that.
undergraduate
Something that's going to
graduate level, and
grab
that is
and,
really
and
about
rip up something.
extreme offenders, which is mass murderers, spree killers, and serial killers. So that's primarily what I do most of my work on, and most of
They
that
go
the
after
students want from
the
me.
frail. They
That
go
class
after the
fills up very
frail,
quickly.
the women,
I actually spoke with
and
a
the children,
student who was
things
in that
like that.
serial killer class with Brian Cope.
They ain't going to Compton and serial killing the Crips and the Bloods and things like that. They ain't going to the hood nowhere. They ain't going to the projects snatching people up. They going into the suburbs, them little colleges and shit. Y'all send y'all kids into colleges. They getting y'all like that. They getting them people. Oh, Billy's getting ready to go to college next week, and so is Sally. Damn, Billy and Sally. Y'all get ready to be a statistic out here. Billy and Sally got. Let's go.
Koberger, and he told me that Koberger often interrupted Dr. Ramsland, talking over her as if he knew more about the subject matter than she did. Now, in that interview with Sean Sticks Larkin,
My
Dr.
dogs think I'm
Ramsland
talking
talked
to
a
myself,
little
y'all.
bit more about how she became interested
They looking
in
at me like
studying
I'm crazy.
serial killers.
It chose me more than I chose it, but I love it. I think it's really interesting, and I'm constantly finding new ideas, new motivations. You know, we have formulas related to serial killers, but for example, I spent 5 years talking with Dennis Rader, the BTK serial killer. Because
BTK, man, he did them people dirty. I'm going to do a video on his ass.
Interesting. I wanted to know more
He
about
did that family
And
dirty.
I think I'm always looking for the outliers.
BTK did the family
rather
dirty,
than the
y'all.
ones that fit the mold. I want to see the ones that don't fit the mold, and how did they get to be the way they are. And in psychology, as opposed to
Forgot about his
criminology,
ass. I
we're
can't
looking
stand
more at
his
the
glasses
cases,
wearing ass. I'll
the
get his ass
individual
too.
details of someone's life story and the trajectory, basically. Whereas in criminology, you're looking more at groups and trends and statistics and things like that. I'm much more interested in just the case details. So that's why I like talking to people who are willing to explore how they got to be the way they are. And, you know, I can spend many hours doing that. So I didn't choose it, but I'm really happy I'm in this field.
Ramsland also spoke with Cocktails and Cocktails about talking with serial killers face to face and through letters.
I assume in your career you've come face to face with a lot of these gentlemen, correct?
Facts.
Yeah, I would not like you can't just go into prisons and come face to face with them. But yeah, I've talked to them on phone, through correspondence, sometimes in prison.
Have you ever gotten that just like, this is just pure evil? This guy is just, there's nothing.
I have a
human
hard
about
time with the word evil.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Because it's kind of a religious context.
Okay.
Do I think, have I come face to face with psychopaths? Absolutely.
Of course you did.
The lack of remorse, definitely. So some people, yeah.
And we'll do it again if they get free.
We are finding that it might very well be a brain disorder.
Huh.
Neuroscience is giving us a
Serial
lot of
killers are
information about
created.
the brains of psychopaths, and they do process things differently. They have very shallow emotional connections. Is it something they're born with? If so, that's a different story.
as you can imagine, we want to talk to Dr. Ramsland about her experience teaching Bryan Kohberger. We reached out to her and she said that she is not making any statements at this time.
Well, that's all we got right now on this Bryan Kohberger dude. Because it's all fresh. He just got caught the other day. So he's going to get to enjoy a couple. Shit, his whole life he's going to get fed for free. I hope he's getting harassed and they spitting his food. Them COs going to spit in his food, y'all. Shit. They might have some family members in there. Some lifers that's in there for life. Will get his ass, y'all. That's all I got on his ass. We're gonna stay in tune with his ass though. Like I told y'all, protect y'all's neck. Protect your family's neck, damn it. And I'm out.